What's up, guys? Welcome to 8 Count. My name is Rads.
My name is Sajid. We'll be covering all boxing news, upcoming predictions, fights, and like the social media side of boxing as well. Both of us together.
Anyway, down to business. We're going to be talking about the heavyweight division and what's been going on. So, Sajid, first things first, we're going to be talking about the AJ news. So today, this morning, it was said that, I think it was the Telegraph, they reported that AJ was going to be stepping aside for 15 million. No one knew where the money was coming from or what was happening. That was just a rumor. And then literally about a couple of hours ago, we see AJ released a video. He's angry. He's saying, unless it's coming from me, don't listen to that. So what do you think?
Do you know what I think? Yeah, I think it's from the beginning, like this thing's happening where news has been coming out without AJ sort of verifying anything. He's had like, I think 2 IFL sort of YouTube videos regarding what's ever happening.
I think now it's more rare to get an interview out of AJ. I think obviously leading up to fight nights, you'll kind of hear more of him because it's natural. You're trying to promote a fight, but like I think, especially after a loss, I think AJ is one of those guys. He's not really on social media. You see him promoting his underarm and stuff like that, but you don't really see of him around.
I do feel like he's biting a lot more now.
Yeah. I feel like he's been doing that for like a while though. Like I think from Ruiz 2 or maybe even before that, he's kind of come out of that, media trained AJ and he's becoming more of himself.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Does that work for the sort of Eddie Hearn sort of brand or something? Because look, after the Usyk fight, it was like, you know what, we heard about the sort of changes in his boxing training and he's going around, and then Usyk, like no one knows what Usyk's doing. Focus, like
you only see him dancing.
Yeah,
you only see Usyk dancing, living life.
You would think like that when the fight comes, Usyk has all to lose, but the pressure is still on AJ.
Yeah, no, 100%. You got to think about it. Usyk's come from the cruiserweight division.
Yeah,
obviously dominated that. He's coming to the heavyweight division. A lot of people thought he would get wiped.
To be fair, after the Chisora fight, I was thinking like, you know what, he can't handle the power.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think when I saw that Chisora fight, I was like, because Chisora's one of the fighters, he puts it on, like, he goes full throttle.
But he has that one sort of dimension. I mean, like, obviously everyone loves him, but he's that one-dimensional fighter. Which,
yeah, it's worked for him in his career.
And in a way, like, what everyone wanted AJ to do was what Chisora should have done. I mean, like, follow his blueprint.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess a smart man with power would have seen that.
Someone must have told him in his camp. I feel like someone must have told him, like, listen, you have to put it on. But obviously he did say he had his sort of, like, he wanted to box and do that sort of side of things.
Yeah, and I think this is what I was telling you even before we were talking about this on here. I feel like AJ is someone who, he has power. Everyone's seen it. Most of his highlight moments are from knockouts. Obviously he had Ruiz 2 where he outboxed him. Even Parker, he outboxed. But I feel like going into this Usyk fight, I think just trying to outbox a boxer was the wrong thing to do.
I think everyone's in agreement that's the wrong thing to do. Is he going to win the rematch? Well, obviously.
Well, he's changed trainer again. Another rumor, like another rumor came out last week.
Right now. Everything it's like he's like a sort of celebrity in it. Everything's sort of a rumor.
Yeah.
Everything sort of like he's training. I know he's training in Dubai.
Yeah.
And like he's back and forth doing things and like
he's with Crowley a lot as well.
But he's made like, if you see his videos, it's quite apparent like he wants to take control of things. Which I don't know if but you would think he had control of things. Like a lot of people are saying like his entourage is massive. I don't know if you saw this like old Instagram photo. They had like 15 man.
Yeah.
And they're trying to keep it free, but AJ, I don't know how he will do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
Like, can he go to America in like the hills and train?
Yeah.
Can he do that to himself?
Because the only reason why you're saying that is because he's went to America and he's assessing his options. He did come out and say he was looking at other trainers, and they were trying to see if he would work with Rob McCracken.
I think there was a video from like IFL. I think Coogan must have asked Eddie Hearn that by the end of the next 2 weeks, before February, we would have an idea.
Yeah.
Of like what's happening, but
yeah.
As much as we're talking about that situation, right now he's still in a sticky situation because ultimately Fury's got like the veto card, like he's the king of the division.
Yeah.
And now these games are being played where like he might be. Well, he's denied it. but apparently there's money being offered of him stepping aside for Usyk to come in.
Yeah, I mean, even before this 15 million sum was mentioned, there were talks of Fury saying that he wants to fight Usyk and he can do the job, get him done, and that would then open the doors to potentially the biggest British boxing fight, British heavyweight boxing fight in the world. I mean, ever. Is it still got the weight that it did before the Usyk Joshua fight?
It's one of those things. It's like it will always be big.
Yeah.
But I feel like personally, I don't think Joshua should take the rematch right now. He should just wait it out because I feel like Usyk, he's one of those things. He's just gonna get better, unless you can impose your sort of natural abilities on him. It's gonna be really hard to beat that guy.
I think especially if AJ is getting a new trainer,
they need more
then
time.
I think a fight before the main fight would be beneficial to him. You can't just change your style and expect it to work in a fight that you know there's going to be pressure. You know you've had pressure in previous fights. And obviously, he got, I would say, embarrassed in Ruiz 1. And he had to come back in Ruiz 2. Like, he was very composed. To go out there in a different country again, and he kind of schooled him the second time. He did look a bit shaky, but at the end of the day, he did do the job. So, and I think Usyk too, there's a lot more pressure.
Yeah, because Usyk, like, he's had so much amateur fights and stuff. Like, people don't realize like how good of a fighter he is.
Yeah.
He can box, man. He can box. Is like, if he has to be on a back foot.
Yeah.
Most of the people in his division, like in cruiserweight and something, they were heavier than him. So he knows. It was like Povetkin. You know what I mean? He's all the short guy, and he knew. But like, it depends. Like, I feel like he should have step aside. Let sort of Fury and Usyk do the thing.
Yeah.
And then I feel like he might have a better chance of beating Fury, just like in terms of technicality. I know like Fury, whatever, then being embarrassed again. Because if he loses from Usyk,
he's back to like the drawing board.
Back to like what you'll call.
Moving on from AJ and Usyk, we're going to be moving on to Fury and White. So with that, we have a fighter who's been put in the shadow for, I would say, quite a lot of his career. He lost to AJ, and then I think from there, it was a situation where he was always put to the back of the list, and he was never mentioned with the likes of Wilder, Fury, AJ, and obviously there's now Usyk. So, you know, it's a situation where, again, he's in the back. Fury's pushed the purse bid back 3 times now. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen? Obviously, there's the whole Fury-Usyk situation.
The thing is, right, the WBC has mandated, like, he was a mandatory for Wilder. And Wilder, WBC has always been notoriously, like, bad for, you know how IBF, they, like, schedule it straight away. So, like, Joshua had to fight Parker. He had to fight Pulev, do you know what I mean? So, WBC have always been quite slow in that sort of sense.
Yeah.
That was Mayweather, like, they make, like, what, they've got this belt now, like, super champion. So, if you get that belt, you don't have to fight mandatories or some stuff like that. So, like, he was a mandatory for, like, Wilder. Wilder, obviously, as much as you want to say, you know, he played him around. Now he
had the whole drug thing as well. He was positive, and then he was pushed back again.
Yeah, it's just like he's had a lot. It's like probably like, you know, you can write a documentary on it. But now he's Fury's mandatory. But the thing is, what happened was that when he lost to Povetkin, he got pushed back in the line, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big loss. Like,
that was a big loss.
No one expected it. Obviously, he came back from that situation where he was out of the game for a bit.
Yeah.
And that was his second fight back in it after it happened. And then he just held that one bang and he just got knocked down.
I don't think what a lot of people are thinking. Obviously, they have like the build up is going to be like really good, but I don't think none of them are scared of each other.
Yeah.
I think
White especially, I don't think he's scared to fight anyone.
No, he's not scared. He doesn't seem like a person to be scared of anyone. Yeah. But I feel like what's Fury doing, he's just trying to be just a bit smarter.
Yeah.
And if he does, like, for instance, what was an 80-20 split that they're talking about first, and obviously he wants to do that. And now, like, if he gets his money from Usyk, it just like, do you know what I don't want it to happen? Do you know how, like, when Khan was chasing Mayweather, he never got that fight, but like he missed 2 years of his prime. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. In like,
no, I hear you. I do think that it's quite sad what's happened to Dillian White.
Yeah,
he's always having to fight like these fringe fighters before he gets his stepping stone to his title shot. That would be an interesting fight. Obviously, we all know that Dillian Whyte knocked down Tyson Fury in their amateur days, so it would be quite an interesting fight. You know, Whyte has a dog in him, where he just keeps pushing and pushing, like he'll be on your case the whole fight. So it'll be interesting, that fight.
I feel like it will be mate, the build up, the press conference, everything is going to be like, because like Whyte is like, you know, like not old school bully, but like it would be nice to see how he like compares to like, you know, Fury's always been that sort of, he had that persona.
You could say this would be Whyte's biggest fight since the AJ fight.
I do think like they have like mutual respect, because I've seen how they talk about each other off the fight, but like it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good sort of to see where his career plans out, because like, you know, Whyte's always had that, he's been sidelined because of, you know, AJ being a thing now. Now like Eddie Hearn's in a sticky situation. Does he still prioritize AJ to get a fight, and then what about, you know, he's stuck between them two, knowing like
AJ's the baby though, and that's his baby, that's his cash cow. He can make the money, everyone loves AJ, so it's just one of those situations. Before we wrap up, I want to ask and get into predictions. So we're just gonna say for from what you see, for the sake of us making predictions, we're gonna say Usyk fights AJ again for the part 2, and we're gonna say Dillian Whyte fights Fury. Okay. So I'm gonna go with Dillian Whyte Fury first. How do you see it going?
I think Dillian Whyte vs Fury. I think Fury's gonna win. I think it's gonna be like a boring points decision. That's what I see. You know.
Well, it'll just be like a tactical fight.
It's gonna be a tactical fight. Yeah, it's gonna be tactical. It's gonna be like the way Chisora so fought. Yeah. Like, he's not gonna try like get into an exchange. Yeah.
Whereas, you know, when he fought Wilder, like he knew from the second fight, all right, I can get into this guy's face.
The only thing I feel like a bit like sort of thing is that because he thinks he knocked out Wilder, he
might be able to do the same.
But like,
especially when he saw Povetkin knock him out.
But like, it's hard, man. Because he's heavy. Like, have you seen his body structure? Like, Whyte is heavy. He's just like, he's like you know, everything hurts, and he's got like these like really deceptive long.
He has long arms
in it. That he'll be, you know, it's hard. And like, I think like going back like when they were talking about like even when he was fighting Joshua, like he was saying like the body shots, I mean, it's gonna take a toll, but I think like Fury on points.
Okay.
What do you think?
What do I think? I think I'm an underdog, man. I love a good underdog story. I would love for Whyte to beat him. That would be, and then imagine Whyte being the guy who holds all the cards, like, I'm the big dog now, you come to me. That would be amazing. It's hard to see Fury losing, but I want to be the guy who's against the grain, and I want to say Whyte knockout. Let me go for that.
What round?
I'm gonna go mid to late. I know that's most likely it won't happen, but I'm just gonna say it for the sake of it. Enough. And if it does happen, you know who said it. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna go AJ Usyk 2. Where do you see that going?
Right, I think it's still a bit early doors, depending on what trainer he has, to be fair.
Yeah, no one knows yet. So
as we know, the only way AJ can win is by knocking him out.
There's no way you're outboxing Usyk, and he knows that now.
Unless you hurt him every round to a point where like, you know, he can't sort of win the rounds.
Because usually Usyk is notorious, like he's a starter, like you give him about 3-4 rounds and then he's just in his flow. But from AJ Usyk 1, from the jump, as soon as that bell rang,
he was throwing that
and people were booing him, there was a different look in his eyes.
I think I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go with underdog. I feel like it's gonna be a tight fight.
Wait, are you calling Usyk the underdog here, or are you calling AJ the underdog?
Nah, like I think AJ's still gonna be favourite. I just feel I think he's gonna be a favourite.
Yeah.
But I feel like Usyk will pull off a close one.
Okay, fair enough. What do you reckon it'll be points again?
I think it's gonna be points again.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is, with Usyk, it's just like his in and out, and it's just like the stamina. I don't know how he's gonna get, if they want to fight in April. How is he gonna improve like all that stamina? Like, he was dying after the 12th round.
Yeah.
But you know, anything can happen. But I'm going Usyk points.
Fair enough. Okay,
split decision. Yeah.
Split decision. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go against you again. I'm gonna go with AJ, and if he does have enough time to pull off, for me personally, I don't see him outboxing him. So if it does go the distance, Usyk's winning.
Yeah.
And it'll mad. Okay, so it'll be mad if he beat him on a point decision. I just can't see it happening.
I think he wants to do that. In deep down,
Yeah.
he wants to prove it, but like you have to use your.
And I
attributes.
guess it will strike more fear into the likes of Fury if he wins on points to Usyk, like someone
I want.
a caliber fighter
Don't
like
get me wrong. I want him to win, so like the Fury and AJ fight is much
Yeah.
more bigger. But like obviously, we have to know who his trainer is, how is he training. Like we just have to see more content of it.
Yeah.
And that's all. You know.
that. Of course. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the AJ knockout.
And we'll see.
I'm gonna go again mid to late. I'm gonna say between round 5 to 9. That's my prediction.
All right then.
I know it's kind of outlandish, but I think like he does have the power to do it.
He does
So
have the power.
you just have to see if the trainer who he's bringing in.
If you can just keep up with the pace and do what no one has been done to beat Usyk.
Indeed. Okay, so that's a wrap, guys. If you did like and enjoy it, be sure to come back, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and we'll see you
Later.
on the next episode.